Hey Libra, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this, my darlings, is your Sun, Moon and Star reading for the time between December the 1st and into January 2020, if you can believe that. Okay, my darlings, we're going to draw 3 rows. The first row of cards is going to look at your divine, the moon section of your reading is the divine masculine, so we're going to be looking at your actions and experiences in the month of December. The next section is our moon section, which is looking at your divine feminine, and that's what's going on beneath the surface, your emotions, and what might be hidden from your consciousness and from your conscious mind. And then finally the stars section, which is your destiny, darling, which is where you're heading. Think of it as your rising sign. Okay, this is where you're heading. Okay, so the outcomes and what we can expect to look forward to in the month of December and into January 2020. Okay, so don't forget to check out your moon signs, your rising signs, your Venus signs, because these readings are really, really detailed and they'll really help you to navigate, okay, the path that you'll be walking over the next 6 weeks or so. Okay, my darlings, I've already shuffled, I've already meditated. I'll do a little bit more of that on camera and then we'll get started. And as you saw, the Tiny is sleeping. Well, I think I'm just walking up. He's sleeping there. Look at him, chilling. He loves the tarot. He's really calm. He's really calm in here, obviously, for obvious reasons, because it has to be, darling. So I'm going to shuffle and meditate, and then we'll get on with your reading. Okay, my darling, look at that card at basic reading. You can't see it, can you? Wheel of Fortune. Let me just sort this out. I'm a bit not very happy with it. I want to make sure you can see everything. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Okay, my darlings. Let me just organise my cards because I like to keep them nice and neat. It's just good for my soul. Everyone is fast forwarding. Listen, it's worth the wait. So just just get in the vibe. Get in the vibe, Libra. You know what I mean? We've got to have order, darling. We've got to have order because it's nice to look at, isn't it? It's better to look at it when it's like nice and neat. It bothers me when it's not. There we go. Okay, look at that. There we go. We're there, Libra. We're there. Okay, my darling. So, card at the base of our reading, or your reading, I should say, is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is the card at the base of the reading is really the overall energy or key experience or focus for the month of December and into January, and it is a time of change. Wow, there's new opportunities opening up for you, new opportunities that you have actually engineered in a roundabout way, maybe not in a direct way, but I don't think you realise that the actions that you have taken over the last 8 months, I don't know why I've been so specific, but over the last 8 months, the actions that you've taken have actually engineered for you an opportunity for huge shifts and fortuitous changes and fortuitous shifts in your life in the month of December and into January 2020. So let's have a look at what your actions and experiences may be then in the month of December. So we start off with the moon card, okay? We start off with the moon card, then we've got the 10 of swords, then we've got the 2 of pentacles, and then finally we've got the 4 of pentacles. Very interesting, actually. Very interesting. Libra. Like, what's your name again? That's why I keep that there so I don't forget. Very interesting, Libra, the moon card. Okay, so this is the actions that you're going to be taking. So you're going to be engaging with your emotional world, actually. You're going to be engaging and responding to your feelings. And this might be something that's a change for you in itself. You know, the fact that you're actually giving light or giving air or giving time or giving space for yourself to really reflect and respond to how you feel emotionally. There's been, do you know, it's interesting, the long-standing thing that may have been around you could have been a sense of, I'm going to use the word powerlessness. There's been a sense with you of powerlessness in order that you wanted to change. I mean, I'm put in mind, to be fair, of emotional challenges, emotional intensity. I'm put in mind, that's how I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling, a sort of a confused state, really. It could have been something like depression or anxiety that's been quite difficult for you to work through, to work with. You may have been in emotional turmoil. It could have been because of loss, someone passing, or it could have been the loss of something, the loss of a job, or the loss of something significant, loss of an income, that's maybe left you feeling a bit dazed. It's as if things have happened this year. You feel like things have happened to you this year. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, not that the universe is transpiring against you, but you recognise that things that have been happening this year have been different, or you've responded differently this year than you would have usually. You've been more emotional. You've been more engaged with that part of yourself and that part of your experience, and that really has this means that you are fundamentally going through a change. You're fundamentally going through a transformation this year, Libra. The moon card is really about, in this position, because this is about the actions that you take, the moon card in this position is really about you actively engaging with your emotions and sitting with them, talking about them, releasing them, being honest about how you've been feeling, being honest about how challenging things have been for you in some aspects of your life. Things have been challenging, and I really think that the change is definitely bringing in strength for you, which I can feel. But it's as if there's been this between you and other people. There's been all this emotion or all this hurt or something. It's been there between you and other people. It stopped you from connecting with other people or communicating very clearly and honestly with people. You know, as I said, it could be something like anxiety or something like that you felt challenged by, and up until now you've been unable to talk about it, or you've been able to address it with people, with your work colleagues, your boss, with your partner, with your family. You've been able to address it up until now. It seems that there's some shift in that energy in the month of December. We next have the 10 of Swords, which is the minor arcana equivalent of death. So it is a transformation, and it's a transformation in your thinking. The sword energy is related to our thoughts, mind, our clarity, consciousness, and communication. What we say and think, and what we allow ourselves to say and think. It's your energy, as you know, and it's that clarity. But it's as if your mind has been bombarded this year with a lot of things, a lot of ideas that have really affected you in some way, affected your body. So that's why I keep feeling like it might be something like depression for some people, or anxiety for others, or that type of thing. It might not be clinical. You might not be clinically diagnosed with anything, but you felt the effects of things this year quite intensely, and it's about this month's about engaging with it. It's about engaging with how you've been handling things. It's about you taking actions, because this is the masculine part of our reading. It's about you taking actions that actually help you to express, help you to understand, help you to change how you've been thinking about yourself and how you've been feeling. We next have the Two of Pentacles. So Pentacles energy is about where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest security. And it's number 2, so it's about commitment. So this is what I mean. It's like there's a commitment that you have to something, to a way of living, a way of doing. And this is long-standing. Pentacles tells us something's long-standing, which means this situation that you're facing head-on or dealing with, or there's a change with this month. This has been something that's been long-standing, something that you've been trying to manage, something that you've been trying to deal with. There might be, as I said, I feel like there's a new way of wanting to deal with it. And I do feel as well, with the Four of Pentacles here, it is about really coming to terms with what you've been experiencing, what you've been feeling, what you've been going through. Now, we speak at different levels. So what I mean by that is, some people, this will be it would have been an extremely intense year. They would have found it extremely intense, and it would have been, hard for them emotionally and mentally and spiritually. And others of us, this might be, just an issue, an issue at work, or an issue at, nothing that's seriously taking over your health or your mind, but actually has had an impact. And it's about recognizing the impact that these things have had on you, taking action too. Number 4 is related to love, your heart chakra, but it's also related, and it's also related to our roots, our foundations, where we come from, the things that give us strength, really. And with Pentacles energy, it's about assessing what those things are, or where your security comes from. So we're not moving yet. We're not wanting to there's a consolidation period that's happening. It's like you want to understand it. You have to understand where this comes from, how this is impacting on your security, how this year, whatever it's been for you, whether it's been a relationship or just whether it's been actually you've been feeling extremely emotional and intense, or whether it's just been an incident or an issue at work or with somebody or whatever that's actually drained you. It's taking action to address these things. It's taking action to understand them. Let's have a look what's going on beneath the surface, what you're feeling emotionally. So we've got this 8 of Swords. So this tells us that you've been stuck in a way of thinking. Yeah, you have been. And whether being stuck in the way of thinking is oh, I don't need to think about that, I don't need to care about that, it's not something I should worry about, it's not a big deal. Whether that could be a way of thinking that's been sort of hindering you from moving on, really, from releasing or from understanding the true impact of a situation and how it's been having on you. It could be anywhere, but 8 of Swords is about being stuck in a cyclical way of thinking about yourself, about a situation. We've got the 7 of Swords here. We've got the 5 of Wands here. And we've got the King of Wands. So this is what you're feeling in this section. This is what's beneath the surface, or what may be potentially hidden from you. And it's interesting because there's a disconnect in a way. It's like, it's kind of like you understand that, okay, your thinking's becoming counterproductive. Your thinking is becoming counterproductive. You're thinking about a certain situation, about a certain person, whatever it is for you in your life. Your thinking is becoming counterproductive. There's an understanding there. You sort of recognize that in some way, the way that you've been thinking about the situation, whatever it is for you, is you're starting to recognize that it's limiting you, or its impact on you, on your health. It doesn't have to be your physical health, but it might be on your mood, on your general sense of wellness. It's interesting because we know with the sevens are about mysteries, or sevens are about I understand. And we have to ask questions to understand who we are, to understand what we know, to understand why we do this, why we want this, why I think that this, where does this come from? So this could be you fooling yourself, you having the urge, wanting to not fully engage with the truth of how you feel, wanting to sort of limit the sort of extent to which you explore this anxiety, or this nervousness, or these emotions that you've been experiencing. You know, there's a sense with the Seven of Swords that you want to kind of limit that. You want to limit the clarity, but I'm afraid you can't do that. I mean, this is why I do the moon section, because the moon section really is what's going on beneath the surface, and we can ignore our feelings. I used to be very good at that, ignoring my feelings, ignoring things that try to pervade my mind. I was very good at cutting those things out, not really recognizing and understanding that that's a part of my life, and it's important and significant that I engage with it. And it's kind of, and we do this because we do this in this reading now, so that you can, if you get to that place where you don't want to think about it, or that thought pops into your mind and it scares you, so you distract yourself, this is a signal to you to not do that, to try to respond to it, to try to at least notice what is coming into your mind. Or I'm still thinking XYZ about this situation. Even just that is enough. You don't have to necessarily go any deeper, but just to at least acknowledge it, because by acknowledging it, it helps us to break the cycle. Eights are karmic cycles. They link to the karmic number, and karmic cycles are about our awareness. We go through karmic situations in order to bring about our awareness, our wokeness, okay, in order that we can start to engage more fully with our experiences and with our realities and with the ultimate nature of reality. That's why we have karmic cycles, and the number 8 represents that. And it represents, as I said, a cyclical way of thinking about yourself, of seeing yourself, that lacks compassion. You know, you lack compassion for yourself. You have lacked compassion for yourself. You continue to lack compassion for yourself even in the month of December. But it is changing, and it's trying to change, and it is changing. You've got to start to, as I said, recognize that I don't love myself, or I don't feel like I'm worthy, or I don't feel like I deserve this, or I don't. Just at least start there by admitting that thought is something that pervades. Just start there, because it's that type of thing that starts to break the cycle and starts to create the friction within you that helps you to then manifest externally. And that friction within you is what's represented by this card of the Five of Wands. Now, wand energy is linked to our sacral chakra, our second chakra, the affirmation for which is I feel and I want. For me, this is the wand energy is your chi, your ki, ki is in key wisdom, your life force, your energy, the thing that animates you, the thing that moves you, your passion, your excitement, your fear, all those type of primal instinctive feelings. That is what key represents. Sorry, that is what key represents. That is what key is, I should say. But that is what the wand energy is and represents. So and 5 represents change. So we know that there's a feeling within you that even if it's not conscious yet, like that change is necessary, or that change is happening, or that you're going through change, or that by acknowledging your anxieties, or by acknowledging the intensity or your emotional world, that is actually bringing about change, and it really is. And so that's what I'm saying to you. That's why we look at this part of the reading, because what's going on beneath the surface can give us signals to where we're going. So what is going on for you is this friction is being created, because that is trying to bring about a difference, a change, a shift in energy for you, a shift in experiences for you that helps you to feel more secure and happier. And we'll see that when we look at these cards. We've not looked at them yet, but we will. Okay, and then finally we've got the Knight of Wands. So here, this is again that feelings and that I've described about the wand energy. This is all the gear, no idea, all the enthusiasm to try, but no idea where it's going. This is like it's like what I really hope that you feel that urge to dive into your emotions, to fully engage with them in December, because in a more fuller way, because you have that urge. And as I said at this stage, I don't want you to limit yourself. I don't want you to say, oh, okay, well, I'll think about this, but I won't think about this, and this. Even though this and this needs addressing, I'll just think about this one thing. I don't want you to limit that. And this energy is saying, don't limit that. This energy is saying, just try to go with it. Try to go with that feeling, because that is what's going to help you to expand, to grow, to heal, and to feel more secure ultimately. That going with the feeling of change, of this friction, is actually what's going to help you to stop limiting yourself, to stop limiting your thinking, which therefore brings about in itself that action, that acknowledgement, that awareness is what moves us on through our karmic path and karmic cycle. So let's look then, if we follow this energy, if we follow this advice, where do we end up then going forward toward the end of December and into January 2020? Let's have a look. So we get the Queen of Swords, excellent. So finally we get some clarity. We get clarity because we've had this confusion and this unable to see, unable to realize, unable to understand. We get some clarity, some awareness, some clear understanding with the Queen of Swords, which is your energy, Libra. Finally we get to see that. We get the Five of Swords as well. So again, a change of mindset and identity, because this leads us toward opportunity and opens doors for you. There we go. And therefore then we can feel confidently. We can feel confidently. And we can behave confidently and act confidently toward the areas and people and situations that are going to be right for us and that feel good to us. So this is really positive, because it shows that if we follow this advice, if we look at this, if we look back and we look at this year and we look at this forward and we look toward this month and we think and we respond and we recognize and we engage with what we're feeling, what you're feeling, Libra, what this shows is what it leads you towards is clarity. It leads you towards a clear understanding of what you think, of what you know, of what your mind is, of what your perspective is. Again, the divine feminine, the moon, the divine feminine, all the divine feminines are about what's within, what you understand within. What is the impact of your external experiences on you? How do they affect you? How do they affect your identity? How do they affect your reality? This is a clear understanding, a clear realization, clear awareness of all of those things. So it's showing, as we said right at the beginning, a change gonna come. A change is coming for you, where you start to see clearly, think clearly, understand clearly. A change is coming for you. 5 is about change, is literally the number of change. On the Tree of Life, 5 is power. And power is that friction that I'm talking to you about. It's that raw friction that brings about the change. That brings about that change. It starts from within us. And it started from within you. And it starts from within you in the month of December. It's already probably started, actually, Libra. And it starts from within you and then it's manifested externally. And this is that change of mind. This is that you realizing that change is necessary. This is you noticing that change is necessary and acting on that. Because what that leads towards is opportunity of the two of wands here. Opportunity, doors opening. And the doors are able to be open and you're able to have opportunity and you're able to anticipate. You anticipate this. You anticipate it. You feel it. With the Two of Wands, we already feel it. You will feel as you continue walking through and navigating through the month of December, you will feel that it's getting easier, that by addressing it, by looking at it, by noticing it, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I want to bring in now, what actions will be different. You know, how I can release that situation, how I can release the hurt and the upset. And again, it's not necessarily about the situation, it's how the situation's affecting you. It's how the situation's affecting your mindset, how the situation's affecting your identity, your perspective of yourself. Your perspective of reality could be very warped, could have been very warped because of a situation. You might not be liking yourself very much this year. Well, actually, what happens when we engage with our emotions is, and we engage with our minds, is that we learn, we understand, and it helps us to grow. It helps to transmute or change this energy into action, into movement, into new starts, into new beginnings, into balance. And that's exactly what's happening for you. And that's why, you know, we've got number 10, we've got number 11, well, 1-1, you know, we've got this door opening, these opportunities, these new beginnings here with the number 2. And the feeling of that is because you're ready for it, because of the work you've been doing. You know, it's been a slow build, I think, for you to be awakened or tuned in more and more as this year's gone on, that the intensity's cranked up when it comes to your emotional world and your intuitive world. And it's time that you start to feel more confident. You can own it, and you do own it. The King of Cups shows us that here. The King of Cups is masculine again, so it's about acting confidently, the things that we do out in the world, the actions that we take. And this is with our emotions. So this means that we're acting with our emotions in mind. We are moving fluidly. We're going with the flow because we have a more conscious awareness of our emotional selves, and that is what is helping you to move through 2020. I feel this evolution for you, Libra, is continuing actually into next year. Now, I know looking at these cards here tells me that you've had some, as I said, challenges this year when it comes to dealing with releasing and purging the impact of some external experiences that they've had on you. But actually, I hope that you, if you can't recognise it now, that by the end of this year, by the end of December, that you can recognise that actually it's that those experiences have actually opened you up. They've helped you to see more, to know more, to gain a broader understanding and appreciation for who you are, for what it means to be a human, for what it means to be alive. You really have been given a more 3D or 4D actually. You've really been given a more 4D view of life in 2019, and that is definitely set to continue as you move through 2020 actually, Libra. And actually that's something that you can and should and do, by looking at the King of Cups, feel a lot more confident about toward the end of 2019 and as you move into January 2020. So my darlings, that's a really nice healthy year for you, it seems, Libra. You've really gone through some huge shifts and some changes, but it's been like incremental shifts. It's been like waking up slowly to that intensity. But I think on a level, hopefully, on a level, you recognize that it was important that you did that. You recognize that, or you will recognize by end of December or in January, you'll recognize the significance of the intensity that is passing, okay, and that is changing. Okay, so I hope you like that reading. I think it's lovely for you. I'm going to say, I'm going to be adding some additional videos next week. I'm going to be adding a breakdown of 2019 where we look back at the key astrology of 2019. We look back at the lessons of 2019 and what it should have taught us and where we should be, how it's preparing us for 2020. I'll do a second video on the astrology of 2020, where that year is taking us, what type of things that we could expect to experience karmically on an individual level, if that makes sense. And then I'll also be uploading an astrology video for the month of December. We have a fifth and final eclipse, solar eclipse of the year in December, and that is on, I think, the 26th of December, if I remember rightly. So I'll do a video on that as well. So if you haven't already, if you please subscribe to my channel. Please click the bell for notifications, so as soon as my videos go live, you can get notifications to your mobile phone, to your email, and they tell you, right, get watching. So it'd be really good to see what you guys, just to give you that extra bit of information, because I am a Reiki master, I'm a teacher, and I really should be doing a lot more teaching, so I plan to do that, and I do that now. So my darlings, I hope you like that reading. Don't forget you can follow Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram and on Facebook. I will see you all again very soon, Libra, with a brand new reading. Have a wonderful December. Take care, my darlings. Bye.